Hello everybody and welcome back to Odin's movie blog. I am the critic who is a cynic. Hope you're doing well. And today I first wanted to thank every single one of you for just giving me so much support on my yesterday's video. It's insane how many people have watched the video, and I've read all of your comments, and it's just really great that we're all coming behind this film, Alita Battle Angel, and that we are going to try and support it by either going to see it or have already seen it, planning to see it again. And it's just really cool. So I just wanted to shout out to all of you guys, everyone that watched yesterday's video and left a comment. Thank you so much. You guys are awesome. But today's news is going to be all about Star Wars. Yes, it's been a while since I've done a Star Wars exclusive video, but we've got a lot of crazy things going on here. I mean, remember that we had the Rian Johnson not so news of him supposedly leaving, and then he said, "Oh no, I'm still working on my trilogy." Though I still stand by the fact that even though he said he is working on the trilogy, I don't think he's actually going to get that trilogy, because I've said this before. If Disney wants to lose money at the box office, all they need to do is allow Rian Johnson to write and direct his own trilogy and release it into theaters. If you want the Phantom Menace to come together in a very real way, that is how you do that. Some people might say, well, isn't episode 9 going to be where we're going to be able to really show our voices? And I would say yes for to an extent, but I do think there are enough casual fans out there who are definitely at least, agreeing for the most part with the Phantom Menace, agreeing that the current state of Star Wars sucks, agreeing that The Last Jedi sucked, but are still going to end up going to see episode 9 regardless, because they're just general Star Wars fans and they want to see some of these characters. They want to see what's going to happen with Luke. Is he going to come back as a Force ghost? Are they going to find out that maybe he was a clone? God knows at this point. And obviously many of us would say, well, we don't really care. We've kind of just been burnt out on it because of all the nonsense that's been going on. But I'm not going to deny the fact that there are definitely people out there that are going to see it nonetheless. And so I look at that and I think to myself, if you really want to show Disney, if you really want to put your money where your mouth is, if you really want to double down on this new direction for Star Wars, the best thing that you could do to double down and to really show what people want and to really show just how serious we are, go ahead, I dare you, make that Rian Johnson trilogy happen. Something else that you can do is to continue going in the direction that you are. So we have this news report from Cinema Blend where it says a Star Wars Twitter account dropped a TZ message and fans are freaking out. Good God! Fans are freaking out. God, 1.21 gigawatts! Great Scott! Sure. Sure, fans are freaking out. If you're going to try and tell me that fans are freaking out more about this supposed possible freak, or rather it's a possible leak, than the Rian Johnson news, you're greatly mistaken. It's interesting that, as soon as that story broke, they did not cover the vast amount of people and their responses. You know what's amazing to me? You have not seen one major news publication say to themselves, you know what? This might actually be a story. When that Rian Johnson news broke that there was the potential that he was leaving his trilogy and that he was leaving Star Wars behind, I wonder, could it be possible that some people might actually be interested to know the actual breakdown of percentage versus, for positive versus negative feedback? Because I'm telling you, as someone that was watching all of these tweets come in live, it was overwhelmingly positive. The vast majority of people, at least on Twitter, again, I can't speak for Reddit or for other places, was so positive, meaning they were so happy that Rian Johnson was gone. So I wonder these same people are like saying, oh my gosh, the Twitter reaction is so, they're freaking out over this. Interesting that you cover this, but you don't cover the vast and countless numbers of people who were so happy, just so happy at just the rumor that Rian Johnson was no longer attached. But what is this thing that they're freaking out about? Star Wars UK that says the calm before the galactic storm. Yes, that's what they're freaking out over, is the calm before the galactic storm. And apparently the people over at Cinema Blend and some people on Twitter are reading way too much into this and saying, oh my gosh, that means that the movie title must be Galactic Storm or The Storm, right? No, I would read that and say, okay, they're obviously trying to tease that something is about to be released. Could be major, could be minor. We've seen them do this before. C-3PO, for example, the actor that played C-3PO, he put out a cryptic tweet saying that something was coming, and guess what? We still don't have a title. We still don't have a trailer. Obviously, episode 9, they just wrapped principal photography, and also they just announced some kind of Triple Friday day coming out in October, and that's pretty much it. So I'm kind of become numb to all of these, something new is about to come down the pike. But let's see what it says. If this is the calm before the storm, then the storm is coming, right? And the storm will be here soon, right? And the storm in this case is the trailer for Star Wars Episode 9, right? Or barring that, at least the release of the first poster, which includes the title of the bloody movie, right? By this time 2 years ago, the title of Star Wars The Last Jedi has been released, which led many to expect we'd have more information about the final film in the trilogy by now than we actually do. At the same time, that means that a title announcement could come at any time, and so fans remain on edge, wondering when it will happen. Comments like this one from an official social media page are the sorts of things that get attention. Does this mean some sort of announcement is imminent? It is, of course, possible that this is an intentional reference to that storm is on the way, and we should all be ready for something to drop soon. Of course, it's equally possible that this is just a general statement. Things are calm now, just wait until the promotional machine gets into gear. So you basically have created a clickbait article, because why not? That's how you get clicks, and hey, I respect that to a point, because you want to make sure that people go look at your stuff. I know that I sometimes will make titles a certain way. I don't make them clickbaity because I don't ever put anything in the title that I don't actually talk about in my videos, but it's something that I was like, oh my gosh, people are freaking out. I'm not seeing anyone freaking out. In fact, you did not put a single tweet of anyone freaking out over this. 874 people are talking about it. Oh my gosh. That doesn't say whether it's positive or negative. Once again, please, Cinema Blend. In fact, I'm going to call you out. Cinema Blend, please make a video explaining the positive versus negative feedback of the Rian Johnson rumor. I would greatly appreciate it. But even more actual news. Let's get into actual news. Well, wait a minute. It's still just a report. It's a report. It may not necessarily happen. But to me, this report, getting down to the actual title of this video, that Star Wars has not learned its lesson, that Lucasfilm, Disney have not learned a damn thing if this is true. Because if they go forward with this, then in my mind, everything that we've been speculating, everything that we've been hoping for is dead, is done. Because the things that they are talking about putting forward, the things that they are talking about as potential, future shows and future ideas, to me just say, oh yeah, we're just going to continue to double down on everything we've done so far and fail to learn from our lessons, which once again, good luck with that. But I do have a thought about how that might actually be how that actually might not be financially hurtful for them, but it's going to require them to do something very, very big. But anyway, new reports suggest Lucasfilm is working on several Star Wars spin-offs for Disney+. The House of Mouse's upcoming streaming platform. The spin-offs reportedly in development include series based on Kira and Lando from Solo: A Star Wars Story, and Finn and Poe Dameron from the new trilogy. Yeah, that's right. The reports come from We Got This Covered. Yeah, that's right. We Got This Covered, which always uses other sources and then just makes them their own and is always just the epitome of all that is news and all that is truth and knowledgeable, which claims Lucasfilm is planning to give the 4 characters their own series on the platform. These shows would be in addition to the series focused on Rogue One, Cassian Andor, who no one cares about, and an upcoming new series by Jon Favreau called The Mandalorian, which is the only Star Wars news that anyone is excited for. Yes, we're excited for Clone Wars finally getting an ending, but I think that as far as new content is concerned, The Mandalorian is the only show that has most people, I would say, excited for. That's not a good thing when you're putting out more and more content and planning more and more things when the people who you're trying to sell it to aren't really buying or into your product right now in the first place. You kind of got to get their trust back. And based on the fact that you're going to make shows based on Kira and Lando from Solo: A Star Wars Story. Yeah, let's go back to Solo: A Star Wars Story. Remember when that film lost $200 million at the box office? Yeah, so what you're going to do is you're going to take 2 characters from a box office bomb and then turn it into a TV series? Yeah. Good luck with that. And not just a TV series, but you're gonna take Kira, who's as a character. I mean, I like Emilia Clarke. But to say that Kira was a compelling character and one that I was interested in, that would be a vast overstatement. And I'm sorry, as much as I love Lando, and as much as I did appreciate certain aspects of the performance by the actor that did Lando in that film, I don't need to see a series about him with him in it. Especially since he's a big part of the identity politics problem, saying that he is about as woke as everyone else. Remember, this is America. Don't get messed up. Like, seriously. Why do they continue to cast these people? Why do they continue to cast these politically motivated people and tell these stories that people just don't want to see? Let alone Finn and Poe Dameron. Had you said that after Force Awakens, I would have been on board. Not gonna lie. Finn and Poe's characters after the first film, yes. I would have said, you know what? I would love to see them in some kind of a buddy cop type series. I think that could be fun. I love their interactions with each other. I thought that Poe was played great. I thought that Finn was an interesting character. Obviously, they weren't perfect. They had flaws to them, but you know what? There was at least some interest in those characters. They were at least they were bringing those characters on a journey that brought me some interest. But then The Last Jedi just crapped all over that. Poe became just totally emasculated and became extremely uninteresting and boring, and now I do not give a damn about Poe Dameron, especially since the actor has gone on record saying, oh yeah, Poe Dameron, he could be pansexual too. Yeah, that's just what we need now. We need more of that. We need more of that pansexuality. We need more of those things that led to Solo losing money at the box office. Yeah, let's get more of that. And then, of course, you get Finn. And as much as I think John Boyega is a talented actor, seriously, go see Attack the Block. He is great. He really is a talented guy. But the fact is that he's also a complete idiot. He's also someone who has mocked the fans, saying to the fans, oh, we don't care. We don't care what you think. Yeah, you'll care what we think once Episode 9 comes out and it's not as successful as you thought that it might be. Now, of course, we're still way too early for me to project anything at this point, but I still firmly believe that it's not going to reach $1 billion. I get to that number mostly because if you follow just the age of most Star Wars trilogies, usually you see a decrease in money over time. And I think it's totally logical to say that $2 billion to $1.3 billion to sub $1 billion for the next film would make a lot of sense, especially since the last movie lost $200 million. I don't know. Would seem to make sense to me nonetheless. However, this is still, I think, one of the worst decisions that they can make. If these reports are indeed true, it's unlikely that anything will be officially announced regarding Finn and Poe until after Episode 9 releases later this year, as any potential announcements may inadvertently reveal details about that movie, like whether they live or not. It's unclear how these shows might be affected or tie into the upcoming trilogies by Game of Thrones creators David Benioff and W.B. Weiss, as a trilogy coming to The Last Jedi director Rian Johnson. So as you can see, they finally have an article here saying that Rian Johnson is still getting a trilogy, which again, he has said will happen. I'll believe it when I see it. Solo wasn't a win for Disney. The spinoff only earned $392 million at the box office, potentially losing the studio more than $50 million. $50 million? $50 million? No. Closer to $200 million, bud. Do the math on it. Look at the production budget, take half of it, add that to the total. Boom, you have the total amount of money that it needs to make back. Take the $392 million, take 60% of it, and you find yourself between $100 and $200 million loss. Thank you very much. Yeah, $50 million. Oh, man. Oh, do your own research, people. Like, I love how he links to another article to say, see, we have sources. How about instead you just do the numbers yourself? Huh? The movie's poor performance may have also stymied plans for future anthology films. They've already said that they've stopped planning that. Still, these new series could be a way to use the characters introduced in that movie and potentially even resolve its ending, which revealed Darth Maul is indeed alive. Disney Plus is expected to be available sometime in late 2019. And of course, the first Marvel film to be featured on Disney Plus will be Captain Marvel, which is just fitting for so many reasons. But looking at all of these things, and looking at the fact that these are series and spin-offs that are being planned for Disney+. Here is what I think the future of Disney Star Wars is. I think based on these rumors, because again, nothing's been officially confirmed yet, but they seem to at least be coming from somewhere and bigger sites are indeed covering it. If this is indeed the case, what we have here is we have a bunch of series and ideas being put onto the streaming service. What we don't have is, we're going to get movies released in theaters. Yes, we could say the Game of Thrones, guys, it's been confirmed by HBO that they're getting 3 films. They're getting their own trilogy to put out in theaters, and that is something that we can look forward to. At least they're in like that pre-production phase, at least at this point. Rian Johnson, who in the hell knows? But based on this, my own thought on this, my own speculation on this, is that Disney realizes that if they continue to make movies and put them out into the box office, or rather into the theaters, they are not going to get returns on their investment. I think that they've realized that they have pissed off Star Wars fans so much that instead of trying to reach out to them, instead of trying to give them things that they want, they will instead take their ball home and leave it there. Basically saying all of their Star Wars content is going to be exclusive to the Disney Plus service. They're going to have the vast majority of their Disney Plus service being, or rather their Star Wars stuff on the Disney Plus service. And the reason why they'll be able to get away with that is because Disney Plus will have more than just Star Wars. It'll have, especially once the deal officially goes through in March of this year. Again, March, April is when the Fox deal said to come through. They will have the entire Fox library of movies and shows. They will have their own vast library of movies and shows. They will be able to offer an extremely high amount of content from what they say for an affordable price. And so they are banking on that fact. They're banking on they are going to be having so much of their own content that's already been bought and paid for, they've made profit on through syndication, variety of other things, is going to be available on the network. They're going to get people to pay money for their network. There's probably going to be some tiers, a tier system, and they're going to try and bank on people buying their service, not just for Star Wars, but for other things, and therefore will be able to subsidize all of their original content projects, which would include Star Wars content, and be able to essentially not worry about having any kind of loss, because if you buy the package, you pay for it all. You pay for the Star Wars, you pay for everything. Unless they try eventually, and I think this would be stupid, to try and diversify or try to compartmentalize and say there's going to be a Star Wars package or a Marvel package. That would be stupid. I think that obviously that would be stupid, but of course, if it means more money for them, maybe it won't be that stupid after all. But I think that we're starting to see the very beginning, especially if all of these rumors are coming out, that again, we're going to get a Kira and Lando, because everyone wants to see that, a Kira and Lando series and a Finn and Poe Dameron series. They haven't said if it's going to be animated or if it's going to be live action, so that'll be interesting. But we already do know that The Mandalorian is going ahead. We know that at least a pre-production for the series starring, what's his name? I keep on forgetting. Cassian Andor? Yeah, sure. From Rogue One that nobody cares about. He's one of the most uninteresting characters ever. We already know that these things are going forward. But what that tells us is that Disney Plus is going to be where they're going to focus their attention on. I would not be surprised if after Episode 9, we don't get an official Star Wars release for another 2-3 years max. And I think the reason why is because in their minds, they think, oh, if we make people wait that long, they'll want to see it again. They'll gain, we'll regain their trust that way. The problem is that if they're going to go and play small ball, if they're going to do the TV route game, they fall more and more susceptible to falling into the CBS trap, the Star Trek Discovery trap, now the BBC Doctor Who trap of creating even more woke content because they feel like they can get away with it because it's already going to be subsidized by people buying their network because they're going to be accessing other things other than just Star Wars content. And so in my mind, what this tells me is that Star Wars hasn't learned a damn thing, that Lucasfilm hasn't learned a damn thing, and that for anyone that's a fan of the original trilogy and the prequels, and at least Force Awakens when it comes to the sequel trilogy, maybe Rogue One, it's going to be a long, long, long journey for us. And it's really sad because as often and as much as I would want us to feel like we're winning in this, more and more of these stories come out, and I think to myself, I think that they will burn everything to the ground if it means that they can get their agenda across. But guys, what are y'all's thoughts on this? Do you think that what I'm suspecting about the Disney Plus service is true? Do you think that they're going to try and make almost Disney, to make Star Wars a Disney Plus exclusive content and property? Maybe just stop doing movies altogether. They've already said they're not going to do Star Wars movies on the network. I know this, but it's not going to take very long for them to build up a large library, to gain a lot of subscribers who are going to be buying their Marvel content, their kids content, etc., their wide variety of old and classic shows, especially with the Fox content on there. So they're already going to get a lot of people from that. And that's going to be an easy way for them to subsidize this new content. And I'm worried that's going to be woke. So I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. If you like this video, smash that like button, give me a thumbs up, give me a subscribe. You're all amazing and beautiful people. Thank you so much for watching. You seriously are all awesome. I love you all, and God bless.